this meeting. You guys are comfortably sitting in the back of the church. That's wonderful. Hey, we are. We'll begin with a prayer. Lord, bless us and bless this time together. May your Spirit speak to us in the midst of this meeting. Amen. Danielle, without Holly here, there's probably a couple things that are going. We need ballots and people voting. Do you have that? Do you know where that is? Okay. Don't worry about that now, Patsy. I'm done. Yeah, we just won't have them lit. Hey, so this is going to be an unusual congregational meeting. We are live streaming it so that we hope some people at home that were intending to be here will be here at home. We had the two people that usually lead this meeting, the council president, Holly Burgess, and Doug Arnold, the financial chair, are both not able to be here because of emergencies that happened this morning. So that leaves me. So we'll go through this, and you guys can ask questions. The first item on the agenda is a quorum of members. This is unusual for us because it's an open meeting for an entire month, from November till the week after Thanksgiving until next week when voting's over. So an actual quorum of people sitting here in our presence isn't what we're searching for. So I have no formal way of making that happen. And I've never run one of these meetings before, so I can't really remember what I'm supposed to do at that point. So I'm going to move on unless someone wants to correct me. I don't know how many council members I have here. I do have a couple that are on. Oh, you want to go to the next slide? Whoever's handing the slides. I think I did that one. Next slide. Next slide. There you go. So this is our council this year. Holly's been the president all year. Mike Sneed and Relindis and Danielle, Lisa, and Chuck. Danielle is off the side right here preparing the ballots for us to pass out that Holly would have done for us if she would have been here. So Danielle, and Chuck's in the building. I don't see Chuck right now, though. What's that? He was loading up toys for the Rise group. I don't think the rest of the council people are here that are on there. Going off, and then council support is Doug Arnold is the financial chair. And there's Danielle. She's on council. Going off are Doug Arnold and, or not going off, council support are Julie Hartman, who's our secretary, who's taking notes up in the front right here, and Doug Arnold, who is our financial chair. If you go to the next slide. So, recognition of outgoing council members is Lisa Gilmore, Relindis Agbor, and Danielle Bartholomew. Council's a good gift. You meet monthly, faithfully throughout the year, and then you usually take on one project a month that you help out the rest. And the goal of council is to encourage our ministry leaders so that they can do good ministry. And you do that by figuring out the funding that they need and by helping them have successful ministries in the midst. So the ministry leaders do the ministry, and the council kind of supports them is the system we have, and kind of lays a vision, giving them guardrails on possibly where we focus our energy and our wealth and our talent. Lisa and Relindis, you can run for 2 council terms or 2-year terms. Lisa and Relindis chose not to run again. Danielle chose to run again, so she'll be on our ballots today. We also have in here that was added, but we didn't update our thing, is that Leslie Kirkman has been our treasurer for the last 3 or 4 years. I think it's 4 years. A really big job in the ministry of the church. and she stepped down this year in the summertime. So we want to give thanks for the good work that Leslie did for those 4 years, because it was a lot of work. Okay. We go to the next one. I don't know if I have any committee chairs here on this snowy day. I know, I'm going to go through them. So Christian Ed, Kim Harris resigned from Christian Ed this year after serving in that position for a long time. So we want to give thanks to Kim when you see her next. Endowment is Rebecca Carr, who comes to our 11 o'clock worship service. And community outreach is Suzanne Schmant. Finance is Doug Arnold. Fellowship is vacant. Pam helps us. Pam's right here. Pam, you want to wave for people? She helps us with the finances of the fellowship, kind of making sure that the money's being good, but we still need a chair for that committee right there. Personnel is Marshall, and Marshall's sitting right here. Thank you, Marshall. Preschool is Amy Cannon, and Amy is out there somewhere. Property is Fred McLeod. Fred texted me this morning of an emergency he was having this morning and wouldn't be here. Worship and music is Carol Crows. Carol's over here in pink in the middle of the pews. Thank you, Carol. Stewardship is vacant. Worship, and then welcome is Becky Kirkwood, and Becky's up top there. So the heart of the stuff that this church does gets done through the chairs. So anybody that's on this list has responsibilities in ministry that take them a couple hours every week or every month at least. We don't have ministry without these guys leading us. So give these people, along with the council people, your good wishes and thanks. This is our staff right here. If you go to the next page. Gabrielle Hudacek is been our administrator for 3.5 years. If you saw on the bulletin board, she just announced that she wanted to retire at the first of the year. And so we wish Gabrielle well. She's been a wonderful minister here. And if you saw what I wrote, that's one of the gifts Gabrielle brought was she took her job as a ministry, and people got loved on when they came off the streets into our church door. It really warmed my heart. Plus, she's a workaholic, too, so she was here 55 hours a week, and I would have to shush her home or try to. We got other people here. I'm just going to announce the staff people that are here. So I got Tyler sitting in the back. Thanks, Tyler, our worship director, who you guys see every day. We got Stacy sitting in front of Tyler. Stacy is our pastoral care minister. And so Stacy does a wonderful job with us. And we got Adam sitting next to her, and Adam is our family minister. So the three of them right there work hours every week, and they deserve your gratitude and praise. Then we got Ernie. Is Ernie around? Okay, we got Ernie, who's been here for 21 years, I believe, as our organist and leader in all sorts of music here at Messiah. Lori Hitzman is no longer our junior choir director. She ended last May, and then is Allison here? Allison was here. Allison is our preschool director and does a wonderful job downstairs. We just have a really nice staff. We should feel good about that. The next thing is the voting procedures. I'm not going to read all these to you. I think these dates, I know these dates are wrong. And that was one of the things that they were going to change, and something happened. But it should say December, next Sunday, December 21st. Or the Friday, rather, before that, so December 19th. I'm guessing is that a Friday, December 19th? So that's what that should say. All these absentee ballots for our people at home and for anybody who took one and has one out, they should all be in by 4:30 on Friday, and we'll announce winners next Sunday, or results, I guess I should say. Becky can throw any questions that you have about absentee ballots to me, and I'll reach out to you on Monday and answer those questions. And the issues we're voting on today are 3 council members, a new budget, and a sale of the parsonage. And we'll announce that next week. And now I have an announcement of our council candidates. We have 2 of the 3 here. Danielle Bartholomew, who's been served 1 term already, and she's allowed to serve a second one, and we're very thankful that she took that opportunity because she's a wonderful council candidate. She's right here. Then Wes Stout, who you might know, serves in the praise band. His wife Stacy's on staff, but she will have to go off staff in the spring and become an intern somewhere in our area for final year of seminary. And so the overlap we thought we could live with, having a staff person and a council person. So Wes Stout. And then the third one is Kay Arnold, who was planning on being here and is in the midst of an emergency with Doug right now and couldn't be here. So keep Kay and Doug in your prayers. And Kay is another wonderful. So we're going to have a wonderful council this new year. I do take nominations from the floor. We take nominations from October on. We didn't hear anybody from the congregation, from the bulletin board insert that we had. But are there any nominations that want to be made from the floor? I believe Danielle's already passed out ballots. So we need a couple more ballots in the back, Danielle, of latecomers. Not to make you feel bad, Cindy. I am glad you're here. And you made it all the way from Powell, that's for sure. Okay. So this is the budget overview that Doug had prepared and is probably disappointed that he's not able to give you. And I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to give of this. I can barely read it with my contacts on. So we had a good year in 2025. We expect to break even on our budget, which is what we budget for. We budget to break even every year. And if we have a strong December, but no stronger than we've had traditionally in December, we should break even this year. And so that's good news. And as you can see, our operating budget, if you have it on there, is the number on here? It's roughly $545,000. Like I'd have to look at the last page to figure it out. Does that sound right to you, Leslie? Do you not have a budget?
Yeah, well, we have this. We don't have what you're going.
I know. So I'm trying to figure that out. So I wanted to tell you that 2025 went good. I guess I wanted to start there. Our budget's broken into 2 areas. Most of our money goes through operations.
Back the total operating, 646, 540.
That's with the 100,000 for property, so 545. So about $545,000 every year goes towards keeping the lights on, paying salaries for staff, and paying for ministries that are going on in the church. And then about $100,000 approximately goes towards paying the mortgage in the space. So we have a budget of about $646,000 is the thing that Danielle just showed me, which sounds about right. And then we got a third bucket, which is endowment, which is money that people give, and we sock it away, and the interest of it we use for ministry around here that the endowment committee does. And it's growing, and it's approximately a couple $100,000, Kathy, approximately. So those are the things. So we are hoping for a 2.5% increase in giving this year, and so that would be about $19,000, including the CD increase that we know we'll get. We usually get about a 2% increase every year, and traditionally, if we're a healthy church and people are joining and other people are finding ways to be supportive with their wealth. So this isn't a crazy number right there. So that's that. Parsonage rental income we're going to lose this year if we do indeed tear down sell the parsonage next door. And so that will impact our budget of about $9,000. So that's in the budget too. We don't expect anything to change in our building fund. Our building fund's an ARM, and so that will change in 2027, but not this year. Meaning right now we have a crazy good interest rate from 5 years ago, and it's 2.5% or something like that. So that number is going to stay the same. So the changes are going to be $1,000 for worship and Christian education. Most of those are for the 4% raise that we wanted to give our staff people that are here, and so that's where most of that increase goes to. And in fact, they've taken away some ministry money, so the increase in wages is actually higher than that $1,300, but they've taken away some of the money for ministry, figuring out ways to save and move things around. Pastoral ministry is going to, and outreach is going to take a little less money. Excuse me. And I'm not, the reason outreach is going to, one of the reasons pastoral ministry gets a little less money because I did not take a raise, except for the $500 that every year a pastor in the LCA is supposed to be paid $500 more, but I didn't take a 4% raise on top of that. And the reason outreach is losing a little less money is because they have a big bucket of food money that people have donated that we're going to use to buy some of their food for their outreach ministry and make a little helpful space in the budget for that. So that's why that says that. Administration was $7,000 less because Gabrielle went from 5 days a week to 4 days a week in October in order to make room for family and things. That could affect the budget now that we have to hire someone else and we've had to figure out what we have to pay them. So that might be the first strain we have on our budget is we made that smaller for Gabrielle in particular, and now when we have to replace her, we might not be able to do that. So that's something to keep in mind. And then property is $19,000 increase. A piece of that is the custodian. The previous budget, we used a part-time custodian for most of that year, and so we saved quite a bit of money. And now we have a wonderful full-time custodian that worked from 10 o'clock till 5 in the morning to clear off our parking lot out there so it looks as beautiful as it does. Andy's a good gift for us. And then fellowship. Messiah Nights has gotten really expensive, honestly. And so we've had to pay our chef more money because we're only paying her to work 10 hours a week, and she works significantly more than that. And so we had to give her more money to honor the good work she was doing. And then we're buying food not just for Messiah Night, but we're buying it for our outreach ministries too, the 1,000 people we serve every week out of our kitchen. And so those food costs have gone up. So those increases are in there. Okay. I'm also losing my medical benefits because my wife is retiring in March. And so as not to put strain on our budget, I didn't ask Messiah to pay for my medical benefits. You've never paid for my medical benefits. Paige has always given them to me. So I'm shouldering that cost on my own this year. So that's a note in there too. Oh, here we go. This is the number I was looking for. Operating budget, next page. Operating budget and debt reduction, and that's how we got to that 646 that Danielle showed me. Okay? And then expenses. When you give to the building fund, just a reminder, we only use that money to pay for the mortgage. So keep that in mind. That's what that money's given. And we're doing a pretty good job. You guys give almost exactly the amount that we need for mortgage. So we're doing a pretty good job. And we've been able these last few years to pay down our mortgage even more. And you'll hear a little bit more about that in a second too. Okay? So just about the budget, are there any questions or comments or wonderings or worries? Carol Coase, worship chair. Oh, no, wait, I'm going to do that in a minute. Hold that thought. I want to hear it. But I want it to stay on budget right now. Any questions or comments about the budget? Oh, I'm sorry, Janine, I couldn't see you. You're really short. Oh, well, thanks. Thank you. I will pass that on to Doug and Leslie that are in charge of making that. It was my idea to make it like that, so I'll take that credit too. That's not true. Any other questions or comments? Becky, any questions or comments on there about the budget? It's a little higher. I don't know if we've ever given a 4% raise before, so that's a really good question. What we had worked on in the council was to start adding some benefits slowly to our staff. And our staff told us with the pressure that they're under to just simply pay bills, they would rather have a raise. So one of the reasons I chose not to take that was because it was a larger raise than is typical. But I thought it was a good raise for our staff who make a lot less money than I do. And we would give that amount. And we had worked at setting aside this larger money for benefits, so we already had in mind this pot that we were going to spend for benefits, and so we gave that, some of that, not all of it, to them in a raise. So that's a really good question. All the staff except people who started last year. That's what we've always done. So that would be Andy. Did not get a 4% raise. And Chef Zakia did not get a 4% raise because we just raised her money substantially to honor the hours. At least that's my memory. That's going by memory. You could look on the budget and it would show whether they did or not. Does that sound right to you, Danielle? But yeah. But the others did. Stacy did, and Adam did, and Gabrielle did, and Matt, Ernie. More? No? Look at this. Okay. And then the last thing is selling this property. Oh, there was no sheet for that. Okay. No. We got to do the property next door. Doug sent out an email on Friday saying he just realized that these couple pages weren't there, and that was one of them, but we didn't get it to the right people in time. So there was a thing here about the property. So we basically own three acre lots here at Messiah, if you want to kind of envision it that way. And our property line goes all the way back to the back woods line where Reynoldsburg Estates starts. So it goes from the road all the way back. And there's three lots, 1160, 1180, and 1200 that we own. 1160 we bought in like 1998 when Pastor Kaufman was here. We paid off the mortgage for that a few years ago, and we're joyful about that. Since Pastor Liz left, we had used it for ministry in the beginning. For Joseph's Coat was originally housed there. We used to have homeless families that stayed there once a week, every other month, I believe, and we would do ministry with St. Pius with them. We had it as a safe house for women, older women to come, and they lived there for 2-3 months at a time as they prepared to kind of move back out into the world. And then when we started getting pastors, we started putting our associate pastors in there, and Pastor Thad and Laura used the house, and Pastor Liz used the house and as they were an associate pastor for us. So we haven't had anyone use the house since Pastor Liz left in the beginning of end of 2019. So we've been renting it for the last few years, 3-4 years, 4 years probably. We've got wonderful renters there that pay us regularly and that seem to be taking really good care of the house. The problem is that we're not in the rental business. and it takes volunteer hours to keep renting it. And to come and to fix things, and like their heat went out last week, and so Fred McLeod had to respond in the middle of the night to help take care of their heating problems. And there's no good reason that your pastor can think of that we're going to need that extra piece of property in any sort of future expansion of Messiah. We already own a lot of property that we could expand onto, so to use those 3 acres that are at the end of our property line don't seem like something that we're going to need right away. So the council looked at what it would cost, or what, if we sold that piece of property, what we could do with that. And they decided to just sell the first acre that the house sits on and the 2 outbuildings sit on, and to keep the back 2 acres for ourselves so that we could keep the garden that is a delight for our community and that gets well used if you're here in the summertime and you see people coming in and out of that garden. So we're going to keep the community garden. We're going to have to go to the city council and have them separate that 1 acre out. So that's what we're going to pursue in January. And once we get that done, then we'll put it up for sale. We're going to give the first right of refusal to our owners who have shown interest in buying it. So it might be as simple as they're ready to buy it and it's done and it never goes up for sale, if they're able to come up with the money. It's been estimated that we could get anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 for the house and the acre. For the house and the acre. The house is in really good shape. It's old. But we've done a good job. Our property people here at Messiah have done a good job taking care of it. And so the realtor was impressed with what good shape. The only problem with the house is water, and the ongoing water in what we used to call a Michigan basement. So that's about the only ongoing thing that we have going on there. We would take the money that would be used, and the substantial portion of it would go to pay down our mortgage. And Doug would know exactly how much more we owe, but we owe about $700,000 and some yet on our mortgage. And so if we were able to put $250,000 down, it'd get us down to $500,000. We might owe a little less than that because when we got that ERC money, we paid money down too. So we'd be getting down to the end days of the mortgage, we're hoping. And then when it gets refinanced in 2027, our mortgage rate wouldn't go up with the interest rates going up. And I say approximately because we don't know when we're going to sell it, and then there might be something that we have to spend some of that money on too. So we don't want to, as a council, make promises that we're not going to keep. But the intention is to put nearly all the money into the mortgage to pay down the mortgage, which just seems faithful to us. So that's all I believe. Danielle and Julie, is there anything I should add about that from that discussion? Does that sound like I summed it up? Do we have any questions about that? I know Carol did. So Carol, I'll let you speak first.
You answered one of them.
Mm-hmm.
My second one was, does the family know that this is from?
Yeah, so we've been really upfront with the family. So Carol asked, does the family know about it? And they have been wonderful. It's a mother and a son that live there, and they have been wonderful renters. So give thanks for that. And yes, we told them back in the summer when we started doing this. They opened up their house so the realtor could come through and give us an estimate of what we could receive from it. And they've given us interest that they might be able to do it, but they're not sure financially. Yeah, so best case scenario is we would keep them as good neighbors. And they seem really happy there. So yes. Another question? Carol?
So putting that money on the mortgage, on our debt,
Mm-hmm.
does that reduce the payment, or when it will be paid off in time, or both?
Well, it definitely reduces when it would get paid off in time. Because it's an ARM, right? Isn't that the right word? It's going to get refinanced in a year, so I'm guessing it reduces the payment, but I don't know that. We will still try to pay it off at the same rate that we're paying it off now, which we hope would have it paid off within the next 10 years or so. Yeah. So I can't answer that one. Doug, if he was here, maybe he would have numbers for you, but I guess I don't.
With what he has paid
Yeah, so our initial goal was that we knew this increase was coming, that we wanted to pay down as much as we could to keep that number not raised. With this, the guess was that Doug was that would lower our payment obligation, but we would still want to pay at the same rate regardless. Good question. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Any general questions or comments at all from the congregation? A couple people wrote in and just thought that I'm looking more handsome at 61. No one wanted to stand up and offer that. You people are a disappointment to me. Anybody else before I receive a? Do I have to do something formal? What? Oh, I'm sorry, Becky, please. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Doug. I'm sure he's really happy with the way I did his presentation. I guess I was probably supposed to take a motion to start this meeting in a second, but I can take we can take a motion to adjourn, which we don't normally do. I don't think that's not a thing, is it? Well, we won't do that either, so I apologize. But what we will do is we'll end with the doxology. Marshall, do you want to come and help us with that? Were you going to ask something? Oh, what do we do with ballots? Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Marshall. Coming from one 60-something-year-old man to another, I appreciate that. So Danielle will take these ballots. She'll be standing at the back. So even if you're going to stay for 11, we will start the 11 o'clock worship promptly and at 11:10. So I do have some 11 o'clock people that came in. I apologize, but we will be prompt, I promise you. And Danielle, you can go and give your ballots to Danielle. That's easier than her walking through and trying to collect them all. And let's stand and have our doxology. No, we could sing it solo. Mark, do you want to start us? It's God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. So in my 26 years of ministry, that's the first congregational meeting I've ever led, so you've been patient with me. I appreciate that. Go in peace.